Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat here today, covering Toonami's ratings from this past Saturday, January 27th, 2024. Now let's start with the top of the block. At the top of the block, we have Demon Slayer at a point zero 0.08, then we have Doctor Stone at a point zero 0.07, followed by Lycoris Recoil at a point zero 0.08, One Piece at a point zero 0.07, and Naruto Shippuden at a point zero 0.07. So, really, overall, the numbers didn't change much week to week. However, the back end of the block was a little bit higher. Demon Slayer and Dr. Stone were about the same, and the back three in Lycra Recoil, One Piece, and Naruto Shippuden all went up a bit. And the margins are really tight. Like, the difference between Demon Slayer at the top of the block and the lowest rate of the show, which was Naruto Shippuden, isn't much. In terms of total viewership, it's only 29,000 people. And in terms of demographic, it's close because I don't have the exact rankings in front of me, but Demon Slayer was like 31st highest rated cable premiere of Saturday, and like Shippuden was like 44th, which is not much of a difference in terms of actual numbers. And the numbers are so slim that we have something that happens in the middle of the block, like Lycra's Recoil actually ended up building on Dr. Stone. Both in terms of the demographic and in terms of total viewership, it built 19,000 viewers from Dr. Stone. And it was only a teensy bit behind Demon Slayer at the start of the block. And this goes to one thing I pointed out when Lycra's Recoil was announced, and the reason why I ranked it as the second best thing Toonami did in the entire year 2023 getting this show, because this is the type of show that can actually bring in more people. Because again, Toonami's gathered this reputation, especially the last few years, of being very tired, very old school. If you're not a shonen, we don't care. If you're not Batman, we don't care. And although Lycra's Recoil, you can definitely make a very hand wavy argument it fits more in a shonen category. If you watch the show, you realize it kind of doesn't really fit that too well. And like I said, and I've mentioned this before, you're not going to get that much enjoyment watching Lycra's Recoil in the way you would watch a One Piece or Naruto. You gain more enjoyment watching Lycra's Recoil if you watched it in the way you would watch something like Lucky Star or something like K-On! And you see that more and more, and definitely in the next few episodes, you'll definitely get more of a K-On! Vibe, in my opinion, more than like an action cartoon vibe, which is something I really like, and people apparently do like as well. I was a little disappointed the last week in Lycra's Recoil's ratings, but I am pleased this week. This was a pretty good week for that show. And the reason why I'm mentioning Lycra's Recoil is outside of the fact that it's definitely of the five shows on the block my favorite, it's also the freshest one in a way. Now, people are like, well, Demon Slayer, Demon Slayer. Yeah, Demon Slayer is definitely the hot shonen of the last few years. But at the same time, it still fits in that shonen jump type vibe that most of the rest of the block does. And Lycra's Recoil is a little bit different. And you see it here where you do get people who weren't watching Dr. Stone tuning in to watch Lycra's Recoil at 1 a.m. But ultimately, the numbers still, as a whole, aren't that great. I'm talking about this show built, and it's still at a point zero 0.08 itself. And again, you can't really say that's entirely Tanami's fault. Again, cable TV not doing too well, and it's definitely kind of a coughing up blood, as it were, as a whole. But at the same time, ultimately, you have to say at least good on Lycra's Recoil. It built. Every other show lost from the show before it. And who knows, maybe we get something next week where Lycra's Recoil builds on Demon Slayer. In fact, I wouldn't be too surprised if that happens, considering Lycra's Recoil is a pretty darn good anime, you know? Definitely for what it's worth. But what do you guys think? Leave your comments, leave your pins down below. I am the Super Orange Cat, and that is all.